You still think of yourself Chinese, or do you ever think of yourself as North American?
You know what I want to think of myself? As a human being. Because, I mean, I don't want to sound like, as Confucius say, but under the sky, under the heaven, man, there is but one family. It just so happened, man, that people are different.
Hey, Becky. Well, there are scenes of panic and pandemonium at Kabul airport today as desperate people pour onto the runway trying to flee the country in what can only be described as a chaotic exodus. Now, people are literally clinging on to U.S. military aircrafts as they try to take off. The U.S. is in charge of the airport there, but their focus is on the evacuation of American personnel. As far as commercial flights go, it's a disorderly mess with little security, and the commercial flights are currently not running. We know that as of last night, the U.S. military had flown around 500 embassy personnel out of the country on military aircraft. They're working up to a capacity of several thousand out per day, but they won't have that capability for a few days to come. As for the Afghans that have worked in various roles for the U.S., it's going to be a much tougher journey to get out of the country. As I mentioned, commercial flights are problematic. Thousands of Afghans are stranded at the airport with their suitcases and whatever other belongings they could muster together. And just getting to the airport, Becky, from far-flung locations in Afghanistan means having to run a very dangerous gauntlet that could cost them their lives. There are also reports that NBC News can't confirm that 5 people have been killed at the airport. It's unclear under what circumstances. It could have been gunfire, it could have been a stampede, but it's so chaotic there. The details are only dripping out as the day unfolds.
Ali, we have watched that video of the Afghan citizens kind of surrounding the military transport plane and trying to grasp onto the sides of that. We've watched that again and again this morning. And I just wonder what happened. Do you know what the end result was? The plane can't take off like this. Did they pull it aside?
No, one of the planes actually took off, and there was also some very disturbing video that's emerged of people falling out of the wheel hub of the airplane after it had taken off. But most of the planes were grounded because they simply couldn't take off because there was a stampede of people on the runway, literally, as the video showed, clinging onto the plane. So a lot of them had to be grounded, and then the U.S. Army then had to form a perimeter around the runway to stop people pouring onto the runway, and they had to fire warning shots in the air to disperse people. So it's a real mess there, and you can see that the Afghan people, who are obviously not supporters of the Taliban, are desperate to find a way out of that country, even resorting to clinging on to wheels of airplanes.
You mentioned how dangerous it is even to try and make the run to get out. And I guess that if you look like you are trying to get away, then obviously you're not a supporter, and that puts you at incredible risk.
Exactly. And you see, one of the problems there, Becky, is that the U.S. had said to Afghans that had been helping U.S. personnel and had granted them visas, they said, look, come down to Kabul airport and we'll evacuate you. The problem with that is a lot of these Afghans were in far-flung parts of the country. It's a vast country. They didn't have any money 2 weeks ago to get a commercial flight from some corner of the country to Kabul to get evacuated. And they just simply couldn't go by roads with their families because it was too dangerous. If the Taliban caught them, at best they would be detained, and at worst they would be killed. So it was this really dangerous gauntlet that they had to run through the country, which many of them were unable to do and are now in hiding, totally unaware of what the future holds for them, as the Taliban has now totally overrun the country.
In the name of humanicide, or in the name of love, or in the name of God. I am B.RAHIMIAN, as a JKD researcher of Master Bruce Lee, or human. Hi everyone. I hope that you are all be healthy and okay with coronavirus and other virus on the earth. Virus is not just coronavirus or as a politic virus. And on the other hand, the governments and some governments is very, very dangerous virus. And no virus is biggest as a not injustice revolution, injustice government. Yes? And at this time, at the yesterday time, near the time, and the subject, main subject is today is Afghanistan, or people of the Afghanistan. I emphasize that the people of Afghanistan, a woman or women of Afghanistan, there is no human right. There is no justice. The being human is an act, as a Master Bruce Lee said. I am talking to you, people of the world, as a me, as a you, as a everyone. Yesterday, Taliban, as a biggest virus, as a not government at this time, they are government. They have been government as a terrorist government. Taliban is a terrorist. And on the other hand, Mr. Joe Biden, you did not any attention to the Afghanistan, the people of Afghanistan, and you did is a bad way, wrong action about your reaction. Your action is Mr. Joe Biden. You did not as a humanity action. You will back your military service from Afghanistan at this time that people of Afghanistan needed your help. Mr. Joe Biden, if you listen, if you hear my voice is people of the world voice, people of the American. I'm talking to the people of the America, people of the US of America. Your president, as a Joe Biden, is not your president. And before that, Mr. Donald Trump tried to know him to you. Try to show him to you as a reality. The being human is an act. This man is not any humanity. And behind this happened for Afghanistan, Mr. Joe Biden, and did sell guns to the Taliban and other guns as guns, yes. And like, for example, people of the Hong Kong, the people of Afghanistan is the people of the world. Human is a human. As Bruce Lee said, Master Bruce Lee, in the last interview, his last interview, he said that we are all one as a humanity, as a human. We are living under blue sky. We should not be any reaction about, for example, my neighbor. Because we are all human. We should reaction as a humanity. People of the world. I'm not okay at this time because I'm human. I am thinking about the way of the fighting with the, for example, Taliban, way of inform you as a master, in true Master Bruce Lee said, or Krishnamurti said, as a human said, human insight said. And the earth, for example, includes animals, plants, and other things, and human. The earth is going to the damage as soon as possible. If we that is earth control, that the remote control is mine, is our as a human, as a people of the world. Yes, they are not human. I emphasize that. And these politics, these happenings for Afghanistan, and before that for example, Iran country, as German country, or other people of the Hong Kong, and they killed the people as an injustice way. This is not okay for me and you and other people. This is not justice. And human, I have a question from human rights, the Organization of Human Rights. What the hell did you do for Afghanistan, people of Afghanistan? Or before that, for example, for people of the Hong Kong, or people of the Iran, people of the, for example, other country like this. What the hell did you do for human rights? This is not human rights. There is no justice on the earth. Yes, this is a reality of this time, at this time. This is a reality. And this is a truthment that is exist behind the world as a mafia, as a U.S. country, USA, as America government, as a Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and other this team that relates to this Joe Biden. And one of the mafia is him. Another, China government as a mafia, that killers of Bruce Lee, Master Bruce Lee, and other person. And another thing, Russia. Yes, Russia. The government of Russia. Yes. Another thing is other country in Iran. Iran has a government of. Yes. At this time, we should. This is time to reaction. Our reaction. At this time. Yes. I am waiting as one of you for your reactions. The people of the America, reaction of people of America, reaction of people of the German and other countries as a whole, as a people of the earth. Yes, because we have a special power as a human. We are all human, and on the other hand, they are not human. I hope that the people of Afghanistan, as is going to be okay, and they are not hurt, any hurt by Taliban, the dirty Taliban. Yes, this is a very bad news for the people of the world. bad news for people of Iran. Yes. The people of Iran, the people of Afghanistan is very innocent. Very innocent. Are you human? The people of the world, I ask question, are you human? People of America, people of German and other countries, people of Iran, are you human? If you are human, you must do any reactions about this happening for you. For example, brothers or our sisters and other members of our family as a human. Thank you very much for your listening to me. And I have a message for the Taliban. And as a Master Bruce Lee said, you are not honest with yourself. You can't crash the water. You are not the human. Yes, the legends never die, and on the other hand, the people of the world have a greatest energy on the earth as a human. Thank you very much for your listening to me. And if you have any reactions for example, nervous in my voice, excuse me, because I'm human. I can't refer, I can't, for example, prefer. I not prefer, for example, the Taliban as a government of Afghanistan. I don't wanna these governments as a human. I don't wanna injustice. Thank you until next session, and our website is www.facebook.com/Bruce Lee JKD School on Facebook. And on the other hand, our website on Instagram is www.instagram.com/humaninside_Bruce Lee. Thank you in that.